you can get the intelligence put all together for you and, ask your question and then have it put together in a pretty picture for you. And the artificial is exactly what it's titled, artificial. And the divine is exactly what it's titled, divine. And so I would rather get my information from divine than from artificial, wouldn't you? So, I mean, come on. I don't even wear fake eyelashes usually, and that would be something to go along with this makeup, wouldn't it? Although I do have to wear them for stage because your eyes disappear when you're on stage. But on a camera like this, I think if I had false eyelashes on, you guys would be really worried. Artificial, again, meaning that there is a place and a time for it. I love AI for the fact that you can put your DI information in there and it'll clean it up and it'll capitalize the words that need to be capitalized. It'll put periods in there and it'll make the sentence come across nice and neat and legible and readable. Apparently, that's important in this day and age. I crack up and I say that because I was writing an article for a magazine for a while there, and the woman that owns the magazine was upset because she said that I wasn't clarifying every time I said something. Divine said this, comma, quote, blah, 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 unquote. And I'm like, okay, quote and unquote the entire thing, I told her. I'm like, I can't do that for every sentence because it wouldn't be appropriate. And she said, the layman's, the normal person isn't going to understand what they're reading here. Like, I don't know if I'm reading what you just said or what Divine just said. And I said, okay, so I need to explain how divine channeling works. So I'm going to do that briefly and quickly right now. And that is when you choose to authentically tap into the divine by asking and calling in the Holy Spirit. And for me, what I call divine is Jesus Christ, and I also call him my Lord and Savior. And I love to talk to his mother. I don't worship Mother Mary. She's not God, yet she is the mother of God. And I like to talk to the mom. I'm a mom. And I asked for her to help me to be a parent, to be a mom when I became one. And it was the best relationship I ever formulated, was really getting close with Mother Mary. So that's where I'm coming from. And when I say divine intelligence coach and consultant, 6 to 7 figure, as I was sitting with the divine at the end of 2025, asking, okay, what's next for really helping to make sure that my clients and my students really achieve their goals and their dreams, that are entrepreneurs, that are either already business owners or are stepping into business ownership. How can we give them the advantage? There's a lot of business owners out there. There's a lot of coaches out there. There's a lot of consultants out there. There's a lot of competition on social media, on every kind of live video and every kind of live stage. And so, how do we help them to make sure that they rise high and that their beautiful work gets out there in the world? That their signature programs that they're creating, because as you know, those of you that are in my Divine Channel NLP Life Coach levels one and two and three, well, in level 2 and 3, that's where we create your signature program that's very unique and special to you. It's very close to your heart, and it is something that makes you cry and makes you jump up and down and scream and rejoice all at the same time. It's a very emotional thing for you because it's something that you really care about, right? And in that space of putting your beautiful magic, your beautiful special creation, we want to make sure a lot of people find you, a lot of people hire you, a lot of people work with you, and that you are able to make really good money and feel that you've made an incredible impact in the world and that you're feeling really lit up. You're feeling really excited that your work matters in the world. And how do you know that? When people tell you it does. When people go, oh my God, I am so glad I hired you. One of the things that I love about what I do is I get so many text messages and emails on a daily basis saying, thank you so much. And during the holidays, it was amazing for Christmas and for New Year's. I got all kinds of thank you messages like, thank you. I'm so glad I found you. This year has been such a new and different type of a year for me because of the work that I'm doing with you. And when I read that, it just makes my whole heart explode, like in a huge way. And it just flutters and butterflies and all kinds of magic happens. And that's because I'm on my soul mission, just like many of you are on your soul mission, right? And when somebody tells you, oh my God, you helped me, and thank you so much. I don't know what I would have done if I didn't meet you. And I always remind people, well, you're the one that did the work. You get the credit. I'll just take credit for being good at my job. However, you listened. You listened to your intuition, and God guided you to our work together. And then you said yes. I mean, because people don't always say yes, right? And so my job in this 6 to 7 figure coach consultant, I'll take the word DI out for a minute just so it doesn't confuse new people who are watching because we're live streaming right now as well. My job is to make sure that you are successful in this space and that what I'm able to do in the world and being a 6 to 7 figure coach, consultant, and be out there having lots of clients, private one-on-one clients, group program signature healing, and certification course program clients is to make sure you are able to do the same thing, right? And it's a 3 to 5 year journey that you're on. And I thought about it because I did a really deep meditation and introspection, and I asked Divine to come in, the Holy Spirit, Mother Mary, Jesus, to all come in. And I said, I have an incredible group of people, primarily women, and they are heart led. They are also soul led. They're doing their soul aligned work. They care truly about people. They actually want to help people. They're not in it for the money. And that's usually the space where the good, really good healers and coaches and consultants get left behind. Here's why. Because if you're super good at it and really gifted, you usually don't have the gift of financial, how do I say this? Being able to enroll people into your programming and get paid properly, charge the right amount of money for what you're offering. Most really gifted people undercharge. And then guess what it happens? Guess what happens? It turns into a sideline gig. It turns into just this little afterthought, and you still need a full-time job. And you know what? To me, that's really sad if you don't want it to be that way. Like if you don't want it to be that your coaching, your consulting, your healing work is just a sideline hobby, and that you still have a full-time paid job at a company that is not your own company. If you don't want that and you want the opposite, that's who I'm here for today. It doesn't mean that you have to completely give up your job to do this work either. Like, I'm not saying, oh, only join this program if you want to segue completely out of it. There are people who love having both, and I honor and respect that as well. Like, if you would like, and of course, if you're a Gemini like myself, you have to have a lot of projects going on to be happy. I just happen to have like 20 signature courses and programs in my academy and, 4 or 5 businesses. So that keeps my Gemini happy, right? So entrepreneurs can do that by just doing a lot of cool things that make sense. In fact, all my businesses actually are one business if you look at them, because every single business I have is designed for personal and professional development. So it's kind of like I had somebody recently ask me, how come you have so many businesses? I'm like, well, they just all have different titles, but it's all one thing. I help people head to toe, inside, outside, transform their life personally and professionally. That's what I do. So that's actually one business. However, because each thing has to have its own insurance and its own uh, legal paperwork and contracts, blah, blah, blah. That's why they all have to have their own little titles and so on and so forth. It would be nice if we could simplify it into one lump thing, but that's not really how the business world works. And so when I explained that to somebody who recently asked me that here in Las Vegas, Nevada, how come you have so many businesses? I'm like, I really don't. It's really just head to toe, inside, outside, personal and professional transformation. And they're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I'm like, I never really thought about having a publishing company, but then Mother Mary came in and said, well, you and all your people need to have your books out there. So get going and we'll just do it as a group. Why bother trying to, because if you have the wrong people, they'll try to force you into doing stuff mainstream. Like that's why I've had to work really hard on everything for my website development, my attorneys, my CPAs. Like you have to find people who get you and understand your mission and why you're doing what you're doing. Otherwise, they'll try to steer you down a mainstream path and tell you that you should just be like everyone else. Why are you doing it this way? Like I literally have had people go, well, why do you have to put the word faith-based in front of psychic medium? Or, well, why do you have to put um, a Bible verse on your thing? Because that's my soul mission. And they're like, well, I've literally had consultants tell me, well, I recommend you take all of that off and then you can become a billionaire. I'm like, well, you know what? That's not my number one goal. If that happens on my pursuit to help a lot of people globally, great. But my number one goal is to serve the Lord and help a lot of people globally the way God wants me to, and work with the people that God is divinely guiding me to work with, or that they're being guided and we feel a mutual match. Like when they come to me and we sit down on Zoom and have a nice cup of coffee or iced tea together, or maybe even a cappuccino if it's wintertime like it is now in New York. I want to know that they feel that this is the right match, the kind of work that I'm putting out in the world, and that I feel that they want to put divine work out into the world. And then when we know we have a match, we're not going to be arguing with each other. Like, I'm not going to be going, hey, you should take that soul aligned stuff out of there that you're doing. Like, why do you want to talk about God? Literally, it pretty much comes down to people who want to eliminate God from everything and people who cannot do that. I cannot do that. I am only here by the grace of God. I wouldn't even be alive. And I know that that can be something anyone could say, like, well, give God the credit for being born. I know some people don't give God the credit for being born, though, and that's okay. I respect everybody. I am not here to try to convert anybody. I am not running a religion or a nonprofit organization. None of that. I have a profitable business. People who love the work that I'm doing in the world are welcome to join, and people who don't love it are welcome to join too. I've just noticed they don't stay for long, which is fine. Totally fine. If they come, they get a few seeds planted and they learn a few things, and then they feel like they've got their cup filled up and then they feel that they're done for now or forever. That is okay as well. We totally respect everybody. I feel like if everybody could just have mutual respect for each other instead of argue or try to agree to disagree, then we'd be much better off. Just let's mutually respect each other. So with that said, now you know that I want to help soul-aligned, faith-based business owners make 6 to 7 figures and do it in a way that is very nourishing to their soul, that they don't feel that they've had to compromise their soul, and they feel that they've been able to put their creative work out into the world. And as a result, I am helping them. I have a lot of success stories. We have a lot of testimonials. You can go on our website and you can see them. And I've been collecting videos of testimonials and haven't had time to release them because of the holidays. I know Stacy, I see you in the room. We just made one when we saw each other face to face in the, I believe it was the Cincinnati, Ohio show. And I keep looking at your video going, okay, Divine, when and where are you having me put this? And I'm like, Stacy's probably wondering when and where it's going to be used as well. Stacy, were you wondering that? Just saying hi to you if you have a chance to say hi.
Yeah, I did at first, but honestly, I kind of forgot about it.
Okay. Well, I know we've been collecting them and like because Mother Mary will tell me, oh, do a testimonial video. And I'm sure that they'll come out soon, the ones that we've been collecting. And we still have more to make. There's a lot of you guys that we need to take the time to do one because we've already done such a transformation. However, let's make it juicier. All right, so let's make it where you have like some incredible things to rave about, like how happy you are that your business is thriving and you've got all the money coming in that you could want, need, and desire, and that you're feeling super lit up and excited about the fact that your personal signature program is being deeply enrolled into and loved, that you have clients that are coming to you telling you, oh my God, thank you so much for doing this. I love the work that you're doing in the world. If I hadn't met you, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. Like we are making sure all of you guys that want that get that. That's my job. That's my heart's desire. I have got a lot of you guys already in that position, and they're alumni. You're not even here today. You might be watching this video though later on to say, hey, what new stuff is Camille doing? But we have a lot of them that they quite frankly don't need these classes anymore. We've been online academy for 5 years, and they're out there making their money, making their difference in the world, happy go lucky. And now we've got our new, and then our, I call the new people who are just joining us, and then the people who've been with us for a while. And it's time now to turn their beautiful stuff into success. And money isn't everything. So I didn't like the idea when Mother Mary told me to title 6 to 7 figure. I'm like, oh, I don't want to sound like everybody else. Oh, my clients and coaches, that's not their first thought. And then Divine reminded me it is, but it's their second thought because they live on planet Earth and they have to pay their bills. So, and you know what? It's okay if it's your first thought too, because as long as you're doing good stuff in the world, then you're putting out good in the world and you're really truly trying to help people and you truly care about them. Those are the two things I'm looking for. I'm looking for, does my client or my student or my member of my academy, those are all different words thrown around because some people like the word member, some like student, some like client. Do they care about people and do they truly want to help them? And do they care about the difference they make in their life? And would they lose sleep over it if they hurt somebody? Those are the things I ask myself when I meet somebody. And if you wouldn't lose sleep over it for hurting somebody, then I probably can't work with you. Because I lose sleep if I think, like, if I'm even worried that somebody's like having a rough time and we haven't communicated or they don't know that they can reach out to me, then I will sit there and type something up like, hey, how are you doing? And I'll check in. Like, how many of you have gotten a message from me saying, hey, how are you doing? Because I just want to make sure everybody is doing well and that the door is opened and that you can check in if you need it. Okay, so here's how this happened. I thought about it in my meditation, and Divine came in and said, Camille, you have a lot of added advantages to why your business is a success. And the coaches that are in the world, the consultants that are in the world that are making a big impact in the world, changing a lot of people's lives and a lot of companies' lives, because a lot of people work for companies. Like myself, sometimes you have a client come into your coaching business or your consulting business, and you think you're just working with them. And pretty soon they're like, oh my God, you helped me so much. Now I want you to help my son. Okay, now I want you to help my daughter. Now I want you to help my husband. Okay, great. Now you're going to help my company because my company needs help. And so it's like, it's just a waterfall effect of when you do good with them, because they kind of are like, well, if she can help me, then I'll let her help my children, right? Because they're not going to let you near their children unless they can, unless they, that's how I am too. Like you got to get through me before you can get anywhere near my children, right? Or my spouse or anybody that I'm a steward over, making sure I take care of, right? We all have a family that we want to love enough to do quality control, right? Quality control check. So, what came into my heart and soul is your added advantages that the top coaches and consultants have, and I scanned it, they don't teach it. Because I've taken a lot of different courses. I'll jump in and Divine will say, hey, take this course, take that, take that. And I'm like, why am I taking this? Sometimes I'm like, I thought I was going to learn something here. And Divine said, what did you learn? And I go, that what I'm doing and the way I'm doing it is really, really good. And that they're not doing that. And if they were, that would be great. And I'm like, am I just here to learn what I'm doing good at? And sometimes Divine is like, yep, don't forget. Don't forget what separates you. Because you have to remember what makes you different and what makes you high quality. Because if you forget that, then you can lose that, I don't know, your magical touch, basically, your miraculous. I like the word miraculous better. You can lose your miraculous touch if you forget what makes you special and unique. And so I recognized, I've been a business owner for 37 years, and I was a single mom for 14 of those years, which is really, really rough because, even if you feel like it's okay to fail for yourself, you don't feel it's okay if you're taking care of children, right? So you're like, get up off the couch, no more pity party for you, get going. It's hard to have a pity party when you're looking at your little children and they're all like waiting till you feed them their next meal. You know, that is very motivating. And you also are thinking about, wow, if I could get my act together, they could really become incredible. But if I'm sitting here depressed and I make them depressed, they're going to lose out on who they could have become. And then I will have been a bad mother. So we think all these things, right? So that gets us going. But what is your reason? Why do you do what you're doing? You have to ask yourself because your why will drive you. Once you've got your why, then it's how. Okay. Then you go into the how am I going to get this done? So if you've all got your why, and I think everyone in the room does, I see Mandy, I see Rachel, I see Brielle, Mari, Ann, Stacy, and Casey. You guys all have your why. Once you have your why, then it's what? Okay, so the whats are in the list that I put into the VIP training. One of the things that I notice about the difference, and I've had to private one-on-one coach a lot of consultants and coaches where you've never met them, they don't come into the group room because they really just need a huge, like, okay, I need a to-do list of what I am not doing and what I need to do, and then I'm going to go do it. And they're go-getters, and they don't need to be healed. They're already healed. They don't need really a lot of motivation and inspired. These are self-directed people, and they just need to have their to-do list. And the to-do list is usually the things that are in these 12 items that I have set up for this year. Okay. And I realized, instead of doing all this private one-on-one coaching with these people, and then they have to pay like premium dollar because it's private one-on-one, this needs to be affordable. I mean, this has to be something that they don't have to pay private one-on-one fees for. And so Divine said, you've got to put this program together for 2026 because you got a lot of people ready to burst through the seams. And that's you guys. You guys are ready now. Tell me, who's ready in here? Who's ready to burst through the seams and make great impact in the world and make great money And then some of you are like, well, in 26, I want to learn all this, and in 27, I'm going to burst through the seams. I'm learning this. I'm going to learn for 26, and I'm going to like fly higher and higher in 27. Who are my people for that? Okay, so everybody's a now. Everybody's this year. Make money this year. Good. Good, 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 good. Okay. So when I do a private one-on-one and I look at the person's business, I look at everything that they're doing, I look at them, I look at how they're presenting themselves, I look at their social media, I look at everything about them, right? The things that I discover are the things that are covered in this 1 year program. Now, the first one today that we're going to be doing is the media training and executive presence training. Why is that the first one? And we're starting that at, I believe, 11:30, because this is from 9 to 10. Let me see, I got to get this correct. 10 to 11. I'm on PST time and I don't always convert the EST super quick and easily. So bear with me as I sit here and talk out loud. Okay, so we're here from 10 to 11 for the free general session. And then from 11:30 to 1:30, it's a 2 hour VIP paid session. And today's training, and it's a master class actually for media training and executive presence. I made that number one because that's one of the biggest mistakes that coaches and consultants make. In fact, I've literally had some of them tell me, and I'm doing the what and the why right now. So, those of you who are here taking notes, please take notes on this. You might think this is little if you've never tried to own a business. If you do own a business right now and you're not where you want to be with your business, if you don't have as many people enrolled in your programs as you want, and if you're not making as much money as you want, and you know you deserve it, right? Anybody in here, I'm looking at all of you, you all deserve it. You guys are all soul-led, faith-based, good, excellent, more than good, excellent healers and coaches in your own right. And you all are on your way getting different certification training to even make it more so that you can just knock it out of the park every single time and blow their minds in a good way. Um, and the thing about it is, the biggest mistake is they don't know media training and executive presence. And so everything else that they've done, all their certifications, all their college degrees, all their diplomas, even their testimonials from the people who did hire them and are working with them are not enough to get you hired by the people who are looking for you. And I say looking for you because they're looking for the best people in the world at what you do. They're looking for someone who really is a good faith-based psychic medium. In fact, they probably don't even care if you're faith-based. However, they will care if they know the difference. Because if they're getting a typical psychic medium without the faith-based, they're going to see a big difference, okay, in the quality and in the accuracy of the information and in the long-term sustainability outcome of the advice that you give them. Because we're not just here to do a quick band-aid. We're here for long-term health, wellness, and success. Are we? Isn't that what we're helping our people with? Okay. And if all you do is give them like a quick fix, but then it fizzles out in 24 hours to 72 hours later, it's no good anymore, or 1 year later, it's no good anymore, what good is that? Right? They want long-term sustainable fixes to their problems in life, whether it's personal or professional or both, right? Well, guess what? Here's what a lot of people don't understand about business. If you don't look the part, they don't think you've got it. And so it's the same, like if like it or not, if you don't put together yourself really well and look like a superstar, they will not think that you have superstar solutions to their problems. If you look kind of put together, they will think you kind of can help them. And if you look shitty, they will think you have shitty solutions and they won't hire you. And, it's not about what's right and what's wrong, because that doesn't mean that they're right. It's about getting the results that you want. So I call this my costume or my uniform. I would say it's a uniform because a lot of people do have to wear a uniform to work. Do you think I walk around with my hair and my makeup and my wardrobe and my earrings all put together every single day? No. This is my uniform. If I worked at McDonald's, I would have the little sun visor on with the golden arches on, and I would have the hat with the gold or the top. I'd have the top on with the golden arches, and I'd probably have a hairnet on, even though I don't think they wear those these days, so that I have everything. And I'd have the waterproof steel toe boots if I had to go in the cooler and pick up heavy boxes, because I'd want my feet protected and I'd want them protected from grease and water, blah, blah, blah. And I'd have my uniform on, right? Well, as a coach and a consultant, you don't need that stuff. But what you do need is you need to look like a superstar. And people who don't want to hear that, I'm just going to tell you, well, tell me how that's working for you. Do you have the enrollment in your coaching and consulting business that you want? Do you have as many people, have enough people hired you that you're happy? Do you have enough money in your bank account? Are you happy with your finances? If you're not, then my point. Okay. So I've had people come to me when I give them this, they've paid me however much money their package is that they purchased from me, anywhere between $10,000 to $65,000 for their private one-on-one, depending on what we're doing for them and how long it is. And I'm like, okay, so do you think that they should pay you top dollar when they can pick from somebody else who looks the part? Because if you look at yourself right now from head to toe, and if you look at how you appear on the camera, you look, you're not polished. There's no polishing. You look like you are semi-depressed, which you might not be, by the way. You might be perfectly happy, but you don't look happy because there's not enough color in your face. You look pale. And as a result, people are questioning whether you really have what they want. Now, people don't hire people that they're questioning about. If you're a coach and a consultant and you're confusing people or making them question, they won't hire you. Okay? So the uniform is required because it says, I have thought of everything. I have thought of every inch from head to toe. I have put the frosting on the cake, the sprinkles, and the cherry on the top. And I've asked you whether you want almond extract or pistachio extract in the whipped cream, just in case you would prefer that it's flavored. That's what you say when you show up looking the part, right? And so that is why the media presence and the or the media training and the executive presence is so vital. One of the things you probably noticed, for those of you who've been with me for a while, and I don't think too many, only Anne, maybe Anne has been with us the longest here today. Anne, did you ever meet Mari before she was working for me? Mari, can I use you as an example for a minute, please? And I'm going to have you pop on in a second. And were you in a class with Mari before she was my executive assistant by chance? You might not have been. Were you?
I think that I met Mari at some point, but I don't think that we were ever in a class together.
Okay. So, Mari, can I share your transformation with everyone because they did not know you 3.5 years ago when you came into our
Yes.
Okay, yeah, keep your microphone on so we can kind of chat a quick minute about this. So when you were a student, you had the normal student of, trying to get out of work. You're a single mom. You're trying to make sure you get home and not miss your class, and you were usually in the dark, in a car pulled over on the side of the road, trying to just hear class, right?
Yes.
So when I hired you, what was the first training that we gave you?
Yes, it was media presence and training on what to wear, how to look, light need, like having the correct light on you. Also, makeup. Yeah, it was a media training on
And
presence.
executive presence as well.
Yes.
Okay. And how has that made you feel? I know you've been doing it now for a year and a half because, well, it's almost 2 years because this March will be our 2-year anniversary of working together
Yes.
as an executive assistant. And then you were with us for a year and a half before I hired you, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Or maybe longer as a student.
It could be 2 years. I think you might have been a student for 2 years and then executive assistant for almost 2 years. It's been a while.
Yes, it has been.
And it's been wonderful. It goes by so fast. I can't even
I know.
keep
It's
track
like
of
I
it.
have to look back at when I started. But yes, it's been a while. But the difference is, you feel ready. You feel like you're putting on your armor and you're ready to go. Opposed to, because I had a moment where I would like wear makeup and then I got away from that. And then I do feel the difference when I like curl my eyelashes. Like I feel more put together, even though I'm not staring at myself in the mirror. But
Yeah.
it does really help with your confidence and how you show up. And then also because how people treat you as well. Like you can tell the difference. Like,
Yes.
yeah.
And then there's that consistency too, because if you show up with your media training all happening and activated and your executive presence all properly there one day, but then another day you show up like not really looking the part, then it makes people question your consistency. And then that'll make them question your ability to be consistent for them as as the coach or the consultant. So we talked about, I think Mary, if I can quote myself, I probably said, don't ever show up in class looking anything different than this once we got you nailed. Because we gave you homework and I said, okay, do this, 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 and this, then make a video of it, a screenshot of it, send me a video, send me a screenshot. I'm going to look at it and then I'm going to tell you whether it's right or not. And I think we had to go back and forth maybe 2 times for you only because you're a really good student and you usually nail it quickly. You're a very hard worker. By the way, Mary, I have to give you a compliment because normally the clients that hire me and pay for private one-on-one, they have to go back and forth 3 or 4 times before we get it right. Well, like I'll send them back. Nope, nope. Still have to do this, 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 and give them another to-do list. And about the 4th time, we've got it nailed. And I'm like, don't you ever show up for work looking anything different than this with your background, your lighting, your visual, what you're wearing. Like sometimes I have to have them go and get, 1 or 2 outfits that can be intermingled together. Even if we go to the Goodwill and get things inexpensively, we don't have to spend a lot of money to do it. Right?
Yes.
And didn't I say like you can never come to work not looking that way because consistency is queen. They usually say king, but in this case, queen. And without the consistency, we scare people. We make them worried and we make them wonder. And we don't need them wondering because then they are not focused on the training we're giving them. We need them focused on what we're actually training them to do or become or heal, whatever we're doing, healing work or whatnot. And they need to feel safe. And one of the ways that we make people, our clients, feel safe and secure in our world is for them to consistently see us showing up with the right look, the right demeanor, the right attitude, the right energy, like our energy, like all things consistently. So basically, we have to let go of everything else that might be bothering us. Like you might be having a really bad day and you have a choice. You're either going to cancel the appointment, cancel the class. So you have to figure out, can I cancel the appointment or the class? as the coach, as the consultant, or as the teacher. If you're running a group program, as the facilitator. And if you can't cancel it, or you're not guided to, or you check in with Divine and Divine says, don't cancel it, get your act together and get on there in 1 hour, right? Then that means we have to get our act together and get on there in 1 hour if we're getting that as a thing, as a guidance piece. And so, Mari, I think that once we got that narrowed down, then we went into all the other training. Am I correct? Yes. And so that, and you have been getting a mild, I would say a mild version, Mari, of the training that's in these 12 VIP master classes. So this is going to be super awesome for you as well, because you've probably gotten like level 1, maybe level 2 of the 12 master classes, of some of them, but not all of them. So this is going to totally take you to the next level. I would say like 4 times. I would say that it's going to quadruple what we've already taught you in a year and a half, because we really haven't taken a ton of time to do that. And we also kind of were, doing many other parts of the training, just like actually, things like making sure that you're there 15 minutes ahead of time, making sure, like all the little things, how to screen people, blah, blah, blah. So many of the things that we haven't had time to train you on, Mari, I'm super excited because you're going to get the training in this 1-year program. So those of you who want the training on how to run a program, even if you don't want to have an academy, those of you who want to be able to run your signature courses and programs properly and have lots of people enrolled and make good money doing it. I mean, lots of people is a number that is different for everyone. Like some people, lots of people is 2 or 3 people because you're happy to have 2 or 3. Other people, it's 5 or 6, 7 or 8. Some people need 100 or 200. It just depends on what you're looking to accomplish. My courses are very specialized in the fact that you get a lot of time and mentorship with me. So although I consider that we have good numbers in our academy, and I'm also very selective on making sure that I'm pouring my heart and soul into the people who truly want soul-aligned, faith-based work, like those of you that are in this room, right? So I'm really good on making sure I pick the right people. And that's one of the things that we're teaching in this master class coming up this year. You're gonna have the training on investigations, interrogations, negotiations. If you are not a good negotiator, you probably won't do very well in your coaching and consulting business, because you're going to have to be able to navigate in order to get the right people in your classes and in your courses. So if you're a good negotiator, slam dunk, you're going to have I had a very, very profitable signature program the moment I started my business, day 1. Okay. I don't believe in, let's just have a 3 to 5 year loss because the IRS allows that. And then, after 3 to 5 years, we'll figure out how to actually be profitable. That's ridiculous. I don't teach my students how to do that. I teach you how to be profitable year 1. Okay. Because who the hell has time to lose money? I mean, how does that help you running around not being profitable, right? So there are business coaches out there who don't really care if their clients are successful. They just have tons of you in there. They don't really check on you. They won't even ask you one time how you're doing. Have you ever met those types of consultants or coaches? You'll never once get a text message or an email saying, hey, how's it going? Right? Well, over here in this academy, you're going to probably get one more often than you expect because I want to make sure that if you need help with something, that we make sure you get the help that you need. So that's one thing that makes me unique and different. And also, I'd rather have a smaller number of well-matched clients than a huge quantity of people that half of them have no idea why they're even in my program. And they're kind of like, they're not aligned with it. They're almost kind of complaining while they're in the program, and they're bringing the morale down. Like they're actually bringing the energy down in the room. So I like to use my interrogation skills to make sure I've got the right people, because then I've got a very high vibe and we've got the right people in the classroom and in the training. And I like the people who they really are going to make this a thing for themselves. They're gonna go all the way. This is something that's important to them because I like to invest in people who are investing in themselves. So in this training, I'm going to teach you how to get the right people. Because what if all you have is a student who takes one class with you and then they disappear? That's not long-term stable money. You need long-term stable money. You need to know that your money is coming in month after month, year after year, right? Then that's a stable, profitable business that you can feel good about, and you don't have to worry and you don't have to go to sleep wondering what's going on. Oh, I run around circles, try to figure out how to go sell some more people some stuff, right? You don't need to live like that. That's not a good way to live. So, a lot of coaches and consultants will tell you, hey, make sure you get the right people in your course or in your consulting program so that you can be successful. But that's all they'll tell you. Get the right people. Did they tell you how to do that? Did they? No, they don't. They don't have a course on that. I did notice they have a course though for men. There is I found one recently, and it's very male dominated. I didn't see one woman in it. There was not one woman teacher. There was not one woman student when I looked at it. And I just didn't feel like I would fit in there. But I teach the same stuff. So if you're a woman and you want the same training that the men are getting, but you want it done where you feel that it applies to you still being able to come across as a woman and not a man, because you don't want to lose your feminine touch. That's actually one of your superpowers. If you don't keep your feminine touch, you'll lose your superpower of the divine feminine. And, the men have their divine masculine superpower, and we have our divine feminine superpower. Neither one of them is better than the other, by the way. We're not saying one is better. We're not saying women are better or men are better. No, everyone is needed. What we're saying is that you need your divine feminine superpowers mixed with what the men know about how to become 6 and 7 figure business owners and how to consistently do it year after year after year. And to be able to do it even during the down times in the economy too, like when the economy is going like this, that you're able to consistently feel good about your income. Okay, so that's why we're teaching this, because it's the stuff nobody else is teaching. It's the stuff that makes the difference. It's the stuff that I always say, if you're super smart and you're super caring and you're super kind and you're very loving and you're out there trying to find your divine equal spouse and you're also hardworking and you're willing to put in the work to make it happen, whatever that is, whatever that looks like for you and your spouse. If you've got all that, but then you don't put yourself together to look appealing and attractive, you aren't going to get the spouse. The person who has all of that and puts themselves together and looks attractive and appealing will get the man or get the woman 9 times out of 10. There is sometimes the person who is, not, but it's very rare, extremely rare. It happens on people get together with people based on attraction, even in business too. Like it doesn't mean that they're romantically attracted, but people are attracted to us as business owners for one reason or another. And there's many reasons. One of them is your media presence and your media and executive presence is a big one. Your branding is another one. So we are going to be talking about branding as well. If they're not attracted to your executive presence, your media presence, your branding, you might not get them. In fact, you probably won't. And I'm going to just say something to you guys because I love you guys. I mean, you're all very important to me. Stacy, Casey, Rachel, Anne, Mari, Mandy, and Brielle. You guys have been with me for a little bit. And I'm going to talk to you like I'm your sister, like, you were birthed from the same mother and father. Can I talk to you like that for a minute? If we had the same mom and dad? Listen, you're losing out on what is possible if you don't have the extra skills, the media presence, the executive training, the negotiation skills, the interrogation skills, the branding skills, the problem solving skills. These are things that you either have to be taught them quickly by a really good teacher, or you're going to have to learn through hard knocks and fail a lot. Now, ask me how I learned. 37 years of being the business owner means I either got taught it 37 years ago, or I learned over the last 37 years. Which one do you think it is? A or B? Please tell me what you think it is. Mandy, what do you think? A or B?
I'm pretty sure it's B.
Okay, and I'm going to ask everybody before I tell you the answer. Brielle, what do you think it is?
Definitely B.
Okay, and Mari, what do you feel?
B.
Okay, great. And Anne?
Yep, B.
Okay, and Rachel?
B.
Okay, and Stacy?
B.
Awesome. And Casey? I don't know if Casey's able to interact or not. Are you, Casey, able to interact?
I think it's B.
B? Okay, great. You can also put it in the chat line. Okay, you are all right. Bingo! I did take some courses here and there along the path. And I've had some consulting and training along the path. But that was very minimal compared to learning through hard knocks and making lots of mistakes and then having to problem solve and then having to hire someone to help me problem solve and then how to figure out how to not make that mistake again. And, the best teachers in life are somebody who's been doing what you want to do a lot longer than you successfully, and they have success to prove it because they can teach you like this, that. And quite frankly, this training has not been made available until this year because we were still building all the other pieces of the actual hybrid breakthrough healing session. And the last piece was the quantum energy healing 5 modality training that I think all of you are signed up for. And if not all of you, most of you are signed up for that. And it's part of the Confident Queen program too. Well, it's not part of it, but it was the free gift. And I think everybody opted in for that as their free gift choice, if I'm correct. And now that we've got that finishing piece where all pieces of like ridiculously high quality, get the job done efficiently, long-term sustainability healing work is now in place. Now we can teach you, because I'm only one person, right? So now we can teach you, oh, by the way, now that you're super freaking good at doing this work, now you have to be super freaking good at building a business, and you got to be able to do it in 2026 with all the unique things that are going on in the world and all the AI that's in the world and all the competition and the other people. Like, how do you take out your competition and make sure that you get your piece of the pie, right? So that is why we have added this for this year. And quite frankly, if you know the secrets that I'll be teaching in these 12 units over the next 12 months, it makes it Easy. If I'm talking to you, one sister to another sister, I'm going to tell you this. It's not actually very hard to take out your competition. You know why? Most people don't know the stuff that I'm going to teach you. And if they do, they don't do it. They refuse to do it. I've literally had to yell at people before. And I know you know that. Because the one lady, this was only a few months ago. I was like, listen, lady, nobody cares how good you are at what you do. And I literally said this to her because I said, can I please just be 100% pure with you? You paid me a lot of money. You deserve to do good in your business. You deserve to have enrollment that's very high and profit that's really high because you are freaking good at it. You care about people. You want to help them. You would lose sleep at night if you hurt somebody, and you would go and correct it and fix it. You would never let it be left alone. You're a good egg, and those are the people who need to be out there getting the clients. We need the good people who are good at what they do and care about the people and literally can help them and will help them be the ones that are getting the clients. Because there's a lot of coaches out there that are getting the clients, and quite frankly, they're not that good at what they do. And quite frankly, they don't really care about their clients. And I'm just being honest with you. I'm talking to you one sister to another right now. They really just, and you've already probably met a few of them or signed up for one of their things, right? And you've probably already figured it out that they're not that good. And they've got more clients than you do. And maybe they have more profit or maybe they have more success. And it's like, okay, well, you need your piece of the pie. You need your success too. And so this is what I told the lady. I go, if I had to put $10,000 out for a thing that I need fixed in my business, and you had the answer and the other one had the answer and you were equal, I would pick the one who looked well put together and who cares about what they look like. Because to me, if you care about what you look like, then you care about me. And that's just how people feel. I would like, you don't go to the hairdresser. If the person's hair looks horrible, we as women normally will not let that person do our hair, will we? Like, do you let do you look at them and go, and if you get stuck with someone whose hair looks absolutely horrible, do you ever go back to them? Well, maybe if they did your hair really good, but you're kind of like feeling unsafe, aren't you? You're kind of like, oh my God, look at her hair. Could she do my hair? You know, you're wondering that. And so if they've got all the same criteria and they've got everything I'm looking for, I'm just going to pick the one that put the finishing touches on it. I'm not going to pick the one who didn't. How about you? Mandy, what would you do? Everybody turn your cameras on or your microphones on for a minute. I want to hear from you. If you think about it, because I told this lady, this is what I told her, Mandy. I said, listen, people aren't hiring you, even though you're super good at what you do, because you look like shit. There you go. I'm like, we're here. In fact, I was in a live training thing when we had this appointment. I go, you're actually here. You flew across the country to spend 7 days at a training thing. I said, so I get to say this to you. You're at a 7-day training thing. I'm one of the featured speakers and trainers because I was there training, right? I go, you're here getting training, but this is top tier level training. Like you're a good consultant or coach, or you wouldn't even be here. But you choose to come here, and I'm just going to say it. I told her, you choose to come here and you look horrible. I would not trust you to babysit my child, and I certainly wouldn't trust you to coach me on my healing because I don't want to look like you. And I wouldn't trust you to help me with my business either because you don't even care what you look like. In fact, you don't even have a very good attitude. So your attitude sucks along with your look. There you go. That's why you're not enrolling people into your business at the rate that you would like. And that's why you're not having the money that you would like coming into your business. Now, Mandy, what would you do about this? Would you, if you had two people that were the same qualifications, only one looked the part and was polished and finished and had good branding and one did not, which one would you hire?
I'd probably pick the polished one, but
I will say if I picked the other one, it I would have to constantly look past something, or it would always be something that came up. So it would, because I have done that before. I have, tried not to judge and tried to just give everyone an equal opportunity. But in the end, if I'm always questioning something, like you said, then I'm not fully involved. I'm not fully invested, and there's like this disconnect.
Right.
And I've had the same thing happen with workout classes, where the teacher walks around but doesn't do the workout, but then corrects you the whole time. And I'm like, you're not the one doing it. Like, you get up there and do it the whole time. Then I'll listen to your correction.
Right, exactly. Thank you for saying that. And now the other thing is, I had somebody tell me when I was giving them the media training and executive presence training, and I was giving them the whole list of everything, which I'm going to be doing today in the next bit of time at 11:30 my time, which is 1:30. Am I correct? 2:30. It's 2:30 EST time. Sorry, I'm not super good at this conversion yet. Um, the woman said to me, I am a holistic provider. I provide all natural solutions. And I have organic skincare. I have all natural remedies with tinctures, and there's crystals in them, along with the herbs and the plants. And this is very, very off the grid thinking kind of healing that gets results. I teach about, doing the coffee enema. I teach about doing the, what was the other one? Hyperbarics chambers. I teach my clients about getting chelation therapy and IV therapy. This is very holistic. And I teach about the right foods to eat and growing them in your own garden. And I said, yep. And she says, so because it's so holistic and all natural, I do the all natural look. That's why I wear no makeup. My hair is just washed and it's clean most days, but not all days, because hippies don't really always clean their hair, she told me. So she said she was doing the hippie look. And she said, a lot of my clients are aiming to live off the grid someday. Okay. A lot of your clients, but you hired me because you said, I want more clients. I want more profit. I need to make six figures with my business. So your plan is not working. You've already done, how long have you been doing the hippie approach? The all natural approach, the wash and wear approach, just wash your hair, come out of the shower and show up for work. Look. She goes, I have been doing this approach for 2 years, and I might have to just close my business up and start something else and just go get a job. That's what she told me. And I'm like, yep, unless you change your approach. Because even hippies want to buy from something that's well branded. Even the off the grid people buy the granola in the little packaging that has cool packaging, even if it's made out of burlap or something. They still burlap with a cute little logo. They still want, and the cardboard box still has to look clean, even if it's brown. It's got to be brown and clean. It cannot be dirty. I said, you look dirty. When is the last time you took a shower? I told her. I'm like, you can't do it that way. Like, seriously, if your hippie approach was working, you wouldn't have hired me and you wouldn't be paying me to help you. And you would already have all the clients you want and all the profit you want, and you'd be making your 6 to 7 figures, and we would never be talking. So, out of a lot of love and respect, you know what? I told the lady, I go, truth be told. I said, let me tell you the truth. And I'm going to tell you guys the same thing. I'm going to tell you the truth right now. I'd love to show up at work like that too. Do you think I love having to hurry up and get all my makeup and hair on and my outfits? You think I love it because I look like I love it. I love looking good, but I don't love doing it as often as I have to. I would like to do it once a year for the New Year's Eve party and once a year for the, let's see, most people that don't usually do it will do it for a wedding. If they're going to a wedding, maybe for a funeral, but not necessarily, and for a New Year's Eve party and possibly a graduation of their child or whatever. But that's about it. They'll suddenly do their hair and makeup and look really nice 2 or 3 times for the year. And that's okay. I'm not making fun of them. I would love to be one of those people, but I am not there yet because that is not what my divine calling is. Right now, my divine calling is to be teaching and helping people with their personal healing and their professional development. And in order to help you with your personal healing and your professional development, I have to look the part. So I have my uniform on. And I show up in uniform every time I come to class, don't I? Have you ever seen me out of uniform? Maybe, like, I don't even think you've ever seen me out of uniform at a retreat because when we're there, because I'm not allowed to be out of uniform at the retreat. You guys are, though. You can be out of uniform. You can be at a retreat that I'm running, and you can just be running around in your yoga pants and your ponytail, no hair, no makeup done because you're at the retreat. You're enjoying it. But if you're there for a conference to build your business and you've got a booth and you're handing out your business card, you have to be in uniform because you're presenting your business, right? So that's the difference between when and where you can do that. So I think a lot of people think, a lot of women think that the women, because I've had them tell me this, like I have conversations with women who come to me and want their business to do better. And again, this is the unit number 1. That's why we're talking about this so much. When you come next month for unit number 2, we're going to talk about a completely different topic. And we've got them all laid out for you. There's 8 modules in this 1-year training to have the edge in your coaching or consulting business so that you can make 6 to 7 figures and enroll, a lot of people that really love working with you and get the results. And the topic today is the first and foremost, because if I teach you all the other stuff, all the other 8 modules, but we don't do this one that we're doing today for the day number 1, you're going to ruin it anyway. They're not going to hire you, not to the same capacity. In fact, I asked one of the ladies, I go, okay, you're in that particular industry because she's in a particular industry. I go, okay, think about the top 3 people that are always getting recognized on stage in your industry right now. Who are they? And so she named them. She said their names. And I don't remember the names, but let's pretend. Julia, Mary, and Gloria. I'm just pretending. I said, okay, how does Julia, Mary, and Gloria show up for these conferences? Oh, yeah, they look just like you. I go, of course they do. How do they show up for their training? And how does their branding look, their photo shoot? Oh, same quality as you do. Of course they do. That's why they're the top 3 producers. I said, show me a top producer in any industry that doesn't look good. And guess who it will be? A man. Because men can get away with it. They can get away with looking like shit. In fact, I see some of them out there right now as coaches and consultants, and they can wear jeans on stage. In fact, there's a lady that's a pretty big coach that she complains all the time. How come we don't get to wear jeans on stage, but all the men do? This just pisses me off. We don't even get hired to be a speaker if we show up in jeans, but they're all in jeans. And she bitches about it. And I'm like, okay, and what else? Do you just want to be mad about it, or do you want to do well in your life? No, you cannot wear jeans. The men can, you can't. Oh, well, what are we going to do? Like have a revolution? I would prefer not to, because I would just like to look good and do good and not have a fight about stupid stuff. Because quite frankly, it does feel good to look good. It's kind of a pain to have to do it as often as we have to do it. But hey, get over it because it needs to be done. And then there's the women who go, and then they can be bald or they can be losing hair and do fine. If we dare lose hair, they won't hire us. If we if we let our gray hair show, like the men, they can just salt and pepper it and get hired even more because they're now considered refined. Men are considered refined and we're considered old and look like shit. True. True statement. Okay. Do you want to spend time on that? I choose to spend my time in places that are going to get me where I want to go in life quickly and efficiently. And I don't want to fight that fight. I have to choose my battles in life, just like you do. I'm not going to choose that as a battle. I'm not a bra burner. I am not going to march down the road naked and say, we should be able to walk around naked, and I'm not going to burn my bra. I don't like wearing a bra, but it sure does look better than not wearing one. And I take it off the moment I get home. The girls are happy to get free. So the moment we walk in the door, it's like rip the bra off, put the yoga pants on, and wash the makeup off, throw the hair up in a messy bun. And I like to make it messy and sloppy because it feels good to be all sloppy looking then after we've had to be all refined and finished and polished, right? But the thing is, you're fighting the wrong battles, girls. If you're fighting that battle, get over it. You're not going to win it. Not in this day and age. You're not. Why? Why are you fighting that battle? Okay. If you want to fight that battle, you're not going to win. You're not going to win. One of the things about the divine feminine energy is it's very, very mystical and miraculous. Let me tell you why you can love being a woman. Because men don't have the same effect as women do when they're polished up. Okay, let's reverse the storyline for a minute. Now let's just look at a man who's got he's got his hair done correctly, his skin looks good, he's actually using some skincare, which is rare, and we're not judging, we're just saying that's not very often. And we're always, we're wondering if they're metrosexual or heterosexual, if they do, whatever. And who cares? And then they've got the nice outfit on. They've got their suit, their button-down shirt, their tie, their really nice European shoes. You're like, where did they get those shoes? You couldn't even find those in America. And because men have to have the right shoes on, right? And if they're from Europe, it's even better for some crazy reason. And so you're looking and they look all dashing and they look very handsome. And we look at them and they're like, oh, check, check, check. Everything is done. Good job. And you just keep going, okay? Because everything is checked. They haven't missed a beat. They haven't missed having their hair done right. They haven't missed that their skin needs to look good. They actually smell good. They've got some cologne on, but it's not too much cologne. They're not like blowing us over with too much. And they, because if they put too much on, you're like, oh, and they've got their shirt appears to be ironed, even if just the collar and the inside was ironed, it looks good. If they've got their suit on, they've got their tie on, the tie is actually tied right. It's actually going all the way to their belt line. It's not up above their belt line where you see 2 inches of a shirt before the belt, because the tie wasn't tied correctly. They've got it done correctly. And so nothing makes your eyes go, oh, out of place, right? You just go, and you're like, okay, all good. You're like, all right, he looks good. Now, my son will tell you, you've just described the typical cocaine addict mom. When I have this talk with him, this is his rebuttal as to why he shouldn't have to do these things. And I'm like, well, then go dress up like a cocaine addict and get going and don't smoke any coke or whatever they do with that shit. So just telling you. So we just look at him like, okay, all is well. Now, let me tell you the difference. There is a very stark difference. Very stark difference to when a woman has herself put together. Because when we look at a man and he's got himself together, we're like, okay, good, he's got his shit together, at least on the outside. Who knows what's on the inside, but at least I'll find out. Because you want to find out now because at least he looks good, right? Now, you're like, it could go either way. He could be good, he could be bad. Just like my son said, he could be a cocaine addict, who knows? When he didn't want to go to college back 6 years ago, he told me that college students are becoming baristas anyway, so why bother? So I'm like, all right, well, you're going to go to college anyway. If you want to become a barista afterwards, fine, but you still got to go because you don't want to be a business owner. So if you're not going to own a business, you're going to have to be employable. You got to be one or the other, right? And if you don't want to do college, you got to do trade school. And if you're not going to do trade school, then you got to get certified. Oh, you better come to the certification course for hypnosis while you're at it. Remember, I made him come to that? He was a good player, wasn't he? Any of you who were at my certification for hypnosis 2 years ago in Rochester, I know Brielle was there, Ann was there, and Mari was there. He was a good sport, wasn't he? He got certified. Okay, now let's just tell you this. When a woman walks in the room and she's got her shit together, that's a whole different thing. You will melt them. People will melt in your hands. Not just men, by the way, women too, but they're kind of pissed off sometimes that you look that good. You're melting them and they're either happy for you or mad at you or pissed off at you, depending on where they're at in their own life. Okay. It can go either way because if a woman feels really good about herself, then she's happy. Empowered women empower other women, right? So if the woman is empowered herself, she will empower other women and be happy and clap for you and genuinely be, I didn't even say that word right, but she will truly be happy for you. If she's not empowered, even if she looks good to us, if she internally, emotionally, and mentally and spiritually does not feel good or physically doesn't feel good about herself, she might not be happy for you, but you will still melt her. She'll be like, how the fuck does she look that good? That's what she's thinking. And then if she is looking for the one that she knows can help her get to a good place, she will be like, yes, I need to learn from her. However, the melting doesn't stop right there. You will continue melting them hours and hours, days and days, weeks and weeks, years and years later from looking that good. My point, Marilyn Monroe. Tell me if there is one person who's consciously aware that they live on planet Earth and they're not like unconscious that doesn't know who Marilyn Monroe is. Okay. And then there's others. Sophia Loren. Okay. There's another one. Betty White. Another woman who always put herself together. And even in her 90s, had guys in their 50s wanting to date her because she had the look and the personality to go with it. Of course, the money too. Right? And so a well-dressed woman is unforgettable. See, men don't get that. So at least we get the good thing on the other side. Yeah, they get to be out there wearing jeans and having gray hair and going bald, and they're still considered viable. And so they get that advantage, but they don't have the advantage we have. They will never, ever be able to melt people and be unforgettable like we women can be. And there isn't a woman walking this planet who can't achieve that. So don't give me your shit because I am not buying it. I don't care if you tell me you're 300 pounds overweight or that you have no eyelashes or that your hair is falling out. I remember when I was in the Mrs. America pageant and I was trying to grow my hair out and then I went and got a haircut and the lady cut my hair shorter, like by 4 inches. And I cried because I'm like, great, I will never have long hair. And she's like, oh, honey, don't worry about that. Just because they cut your hair short doesn't mean a damn thing. There's hair extensions. We'll put those in and you'll be good to go, ready for the stage. And I'm like, oh, I never even thought of that. She's like, oh, yeah, they can do whatever they want. We've got wigs too. There's wigs, there's hair extensions, there's anything you want. See, men don't have that advantage. They're kind of stuck with whatever they have. I mean, they can put them in if they want, but they aren't going to probably do it as likely as we're going to do it, There are wigs for men and there is spray paint and everything else, but the point is that women usually will go that extra mile. And when you do, I'm going to say this, sadly, you will be given a lot more credibility than you deserve. And with that credibility that you are given, that you might not even deserve, you better do good with it. Because you have what we try to avoid in the hypnosis business. We don't train people on hypnosis. We just don't train people on hypnosis that don't have the right agenda. And we will have you fill out an application and interview you before you can take our courses in our academy for hypnosis. Because it's a very, very lethal tool in a good way or a bad way. You can deeply hurt somebody or deeply help somebody with that tool as a hypnotist. And it's a high responsibility and accountability that you must have if you are given the training. Well, guess what? It's the same with being a woman that has chosen to put yourself together well, put your hair together nicely, your makeup together, your wardrobe together nicely, and your branding, because you will hypnotize people. You will melt them, they will follow you, and you better be offering something good. I'm going to tell you, don't use that tool to hurt and manipulate. Those women out there who look super good and then they just fraudulent hurt others, shame on them. They should be ashamed of themselves. Because some of them use the tool, they know that they're hypnotizing people to go out and either manipulate or hurt or harm or abuse. Because it puts you at a great advantage. It opens the doors that others will never have a door opened to for them. You will be given opportunities if you put yourself together well that others will not be given. You may or may not deserve them. So my point to you is you better deserve them. Don't do it if you don't. And I'm going to tell you, everybody in this room does deserve them. So don't question yourself. I wouldn't be teaching you guys. And I don't let anybody into the VIP masterclass training that I don't want to empower, because these tools are the tools that they're not teaching out there. I have not found any coaches that are teaching this stuff. And I'll tell you why they're not. They don't want too much competition. That's why. And you know what? I don't come from that thinking, because that's a godless thinking. That's people who don't believe in God who think that way. Okay? Because they're coming from a scarcity thinking and a fear thinking. I come from a plentiful thinking and from faith. And I also know that there's plenty of room for all of us. And shame on them for teaching, coaching, and then not giving the tools that you really need to make sure that you're a success, so that they don't have enough, so that they don't have any competition. And I'm going to say that, okay? Because you need these extra tools, and they can only be given to the people who are doing good with them, okay? Because when you hypnotize the people, because you look the part, you've put your hair, your makeup, your wardrobe together, you've got your energy right, you've got the lighting right, you've got everything right. You've got the mystical, miraculous, magical, extra energy that you add to it, and you put it all together. You will be on their minds for days and days, weeks and weeks, months and months, and years and years. You will have people who are thinking about hiring you and have already decided that they're going to hire you the moment X happens in their life. And they will actually say, you know what, I saw you a few months ago, and I knew that as soon as my husband got home from his business trip and my tax refund came in, I was going to hire you. And here I am. I'm ready. And they only have to see you one time for that, because you already, I don't like this phrase, but that's just the phrase Mother Mary is giving. And I'm kind of having an argument with her about it right now. You've already stolen their heart. That's what she wants me to say. All right. because you had what others don't have. You've gone the extra mile. Most people, most women just don't give a damn and they don't want to do it and they're rebels. You know, I'm a rebel too, but pick where you put your rebel. Choose your battles, pick your rebel. This is not one to pick. How you look and that you should be able to look like a granola girl or a hippie or an out of shower wash and wear girl, don't pick that battle. That isn't one that's going to get you anywhere in life. It's not going to get you where you want to be. It won't give you the opening. I mean, if you're financially well off and you're retired and your divine calling is completed and you're done, or you don't need to be out there making a difference or attracting people, fine. Do whatever you want. You know, like I know Pamela Anderson is like, I'm not wearing makeup or hair anymore. I'm done. I'm not. And she earned her right to do that. She's finished her career. She's like, I'm not making any more movies. I'm not wearing the costume. And you know, she's got it right. She says it's a costume, and it is. It's a uniform. It's a costume. She goes, costume is off. I got my money. I did my work. My movies are still out there. People can still watch my movies. My legacy is there, and I'm still alive, and I don't need to do that shit anymore. Bravo to her. My hands off to her. I applaud her because she got her work done and she gets to hang out and do whatever she feels like doing while enjoying the fact that her legacy has already been built. Who wants to give her an applause for that? I do. I'm like, hey, you're my role model. Good job. You got your legacy out there, you know, and you still are alive to live more life and enjoy the finances that you have banked up for yourself. You don't have to worry about money. You can just go do whatever you know that is right for you to do in your life, whatever you feel called to do. And apparently she contracted for a nice vacation from having to put her uniform on, right? Good for her. However, those of you who are still in the making stage of making your legacy, building your legacy, come join me. Now, I have a special since it's a time to flip over. Anyone who's in the 1-year program of any type with me can have 75% off this program. And that's 75% off either the payment plan or the pay in full. You know why it's not 100%? Because you have to have some skin in the game. And it's only a little skin because it's 75% off. So that makes it really doable. Why am I doing that for people who are in a 1-year program? Because you're already investing in yourself. You've already got your Confident Queen program, or you've got your, Mandy, you're in the 1-year program for psychic medium development, so you qualify. Obviously, Brielle, you know you qualify. You're in the Confident Queen, and so is Anne and Rachel in the Confident Queen, and so is Stacy. And Casey, you're in the 1-year program because you're in Club AIG, and that's a 1-year program. And I have no idea who this iPhone is, but somehow I was told to, you know, bring him into the general free admission. So, who is wanting the 75% coupon code? I'll tell it to you right now. It is member 1. Okay, so don't put that in there if you're not in a 1-year program. And at this point, there would only be one person that may or may not be, and that's the iPhone person. You know, and I can just refund a purchase that was made that shouldn't have been made if somebody were to use the member 1 coupon code that's not in a 1 year. So for those of you who are joining it, we're going to email out the link for the 1 year, for the VIP in a few minutes. We're going to take a bio break. We're going to start a little bit later because you need a 10-minute bio break. So those of you who want to join us for the 2 hours of training today, it's all recorded. You get access to all the recordings as well when you've made the investment in the 1-year program, and you can go back and watch them as many times as you want. So we'll take a 10-minute break. If you use it's just the word member, because you're getting a member discount basically, because if you're in a 1-year program, you're considered a member. If you've just done like a 3-day thing, that's not a member yet because you haven't invested in a full 1-year journey. And so just always enjoy learning. Yes, wonderful. And what's your name? Put your name in there, iPhone, so that we know who you are. It would be great if you put your camera on too. Oh, there you are. What is your name again? I'm trying to remember. I'm better with faces than names. I'm sorry. What is your first name? Can you put it in the chat line? Looking for that.
I did. I got to run, Kemi. I love
Oh,
you. I will
oh,
send you BMST
awesome.
peeps from the east side of
Oh,
the
there you
United
go.
States. I do the Colorado ones. I love my business. I always learn from
Oh,
you.
beautiful.
you.
Thank you for
Thank you.
coming.
You're
So nice
welcome.
to
I was
have
only
you. I'm
here a
trying to.
short time, but I got to run.
Yeah,
Carry
great.
on.
Member. Okay, thank you. I'm putting member 1 in the chat line. There you go. So put that in there. And then the link came in your text messages and in your emails for the program itself. So you can just go into the link. Mari, if you want to put the link in here for them, you can do that as well. And that way you are able to put member 1 in there. It'll take 75% off. It's basically so that you've got a little skin in the game, but for people who've already invested for a year, we don't want you to have to pay full price. This is an added bonus to being a member of our academy. All right, I will see some of you in the next 10 minutes on the new link that will be emailed out to those of you who have signed up. Just text message me if you signed up quickly, like send me my, I know all of you guys have my number that I see in here, but I'm just going to put it in real quick just to make sure you've got it. Text message me if you have joined the VIP training masterclass, and we'll get the link out to you, and we'll be starting at 2:40 EST instead of 2:30. And we'll see you all there.